fermenter. This is the picture of external airlift fermenter, and this is the internal airlift fermenter. So first let us see the schematic representation. If you look in this picture, in an airlift fermenter, the liquid culture volume of the vessel is divided into two interconnected zones by means of a baffle or a draft tube. That is, we have two zones and they are connected particularly by the draft tube. Only one of the two zones. So one zone is the riser. Okay, see here. This is the riser and this is the down corner. This one. Okay. So this is what it is, my draft tube. So only one of the two zones, that is the riser, is parched with air and other gases. The down corner is the other zone that receives no gas. Airlift fermenters are considered to be highly energy efficient and are often used in large scale manufacture of biopharmaceutical proteins. So all the performance characteristics of airlift fermenter are related ultimately to the gas injection. Okay, here this one. So they are all related to the gas injection rate and the resulting rate of the liquid circulation. And the rate of the liquid circulation, it increases with the square root of the height of the airlift fermenter. So all the performance of your airlift fermenters are ultimately related to this gas injection rate. How much is the gas rate and resulting the rate of the liquid circulation, whatever the liquid are present inside the fermenter. And the rate of the liquid circulation increases with the square root of the height of the airlift fermenter. So this is the headspace region. Here nothing will be here. Since the liquid circulation is driven by the gas, a hold up difference between the riser and the down corner occurs. So what we mean to tell is, since the liquid circulation, whatever the liquid circulation is happening, it is driven by the gas hold up. So there occurs a difference between the riser and the down corner. Okay, because why? We told that only of the two zones, the riser, this is the riser, is purged with the air or other gases, whereas your down corner is the zone that receives no gas. So obviously the liquid circulation is driven by the gas hold up difference between the riser and the down corner. There will be a difference in this. So the circulation, whatever the circulation which is occurring, is enhanced when there is little or no gas in the down corner. Hope this is clear. So your airlift bioreactors are used for aerobic bioprocessing technology, where they provide controlled liquid flow in a recycle system by pumping. The performance of the airlift bioreactor is dependent on the pumping, that is the injection of the gas. So it is dependent on the pumping of air and the liquid circulation. Due to high efficiency, airlift bioreactors are preferred in methanol production, wastewater treatment, and single cell protein production. So this is the mechanism of the airlift fermenters. So I shall repeat again. So this is the picture of the airlift fermenter. The liquid culture volume of the vessel, okay, it is divided into okay, two interconnected zone. How they are interconnected means they are interconnected by a baffle or particularly the draft tube. Okay, DRAFT, draft tube. This is what most of your textbook mentioned, draft tube. So only one of the two zones, that is particularly the riser, is purged with the air or the other gas, whereas your down corner is the other zone that receives no gas. Airlift fermenters are considered to be highly energy efficient and are often used in the large scale manufacture of pharmaceutical proteins. So, all the performance characteristics of the airlift fermenter are related ultimately to the gas injection rate from here. The gas passes. It is dependent on this gas injection rate and the resulting rate of the liquid circulation. Liquid circulation means whatever we have added, the media or whatever the substrates we have added. So it is dependent on this gas and this liquid circulation. And the rate of this liquid circulation increases with the square root of the height of the airlift fermenter. Since the liquid circulation is driven, whatever the liquid circulation is there, no, that is driven by the gas hold up difference between the riser and the down corner. So there will be an increased or there will be an enhanced circulation when there is no or little gas in the down corner. First of all, we are not providing. Okay, so that is about the airlift fermenter. So these airlift fermenters or bioreactors are used for the aerobic cultures for bioprocessing technology, where they provide controlled liquid flow in the recycle system by pumping. What they are pumping? The performance of the airlift bioreactor is dependent on pumping. Pumping here means pumping of the air and the liquid circulation. So these two terms you have to remember, the air and the liquid circulation. So when I am pumping the air, okay, the circulation of the liquid happens. Due to high efficiency, airlift fermenters are preferred in the methanol production, wastewater treatment, and single cell protein production. Apart from this, you have two types of airlift fermenters. One is the, I told you here, internal loop air lift bioreactors or external loop air bioreactors. Look at this. This is the draft tube, what I mentioned. Okay, and here will be the riser and here will be the down corner. So this is the internal one. It consists of a single container having a draft tube. Here you can see, this is the draft tube in the center, which is involved in creating interior liquid circulation channel. They have a very simple design and its volume and circulation is maintained at a fixed rate to carry out the fermentation. So here what is happening? Here what is that? Here is the liquid material. So we have added all the liquid material, whatever we want. And inside the cylinder, no, there is the draft tube. So now this is all the blue color you're seeing is the liquid. Here is what spurger, wherein it can pass the gas. So as the gas passes, what happens? Circulation occurs. What circulation is occurring? The liquid circulation is occurring. Look at the aroma. The circulation occurs here and then from the draft tube to the outer tube, and again here it continues like this. That is the internal loop airlift bioreactors. So your all this liquid means it is containing nutrients, your microorganism or all. So this air, what is it is happening? As the air is pushing, there is a circulation of the liquid. So what is happening? Even your nutrients, everything goes up the same direction. The same direction, everything goes up and comes down. That is the internal loop airlift bioreactor. Coming to your external airlift bioreactors, these bioreactors have an external loop in order to promote circulation via separate independent channel. So several modification can be done in these fermenters in order to fulfill various type of fermentation requirements. So here you can see this is the main cylinder and this is your draft tube. From here what spurger the air enters, and look at this, the circulation of your liquid. Liquid means even your media, your microbes, or everything will all undergo the circulation like this. It comes to the external tube, that is your draft tube, and this continues. This is the about the airlift bioreactors. So airlift bioreactors are tower reactors for large scale aerobic culture where the mixing of the culture broth is done by inserted gas via the airlift pump. Mixing and aeration in the fermenter is carried out by the airlift or the mechanical agitator. Usually we don't use the mechanical agitator. It is only by this process only it happens. Airlift fermenter uses air injected from the bottom of the draft tube. So an airlift bioreactor works by agitating the contents of the bioreactors pneumatically using the gas. So there is no requirement of any agitators. Nothing is required here. Just because of the pumping of the gas, okay, the liquid circulation occurs. Here also it is occurring. So since there is no requirement of this any agitator, it is also called as the pneumatically or pneumatic fermenters, okay, because they have the very same similarity working mechanism with the pneumatic fermenters. The gas used for the agitation can act either to introduce new molecule to the mixture inside of the bioreactor or remove specific metabolic molecules produced by the microorganism. So airlift reactors have been applied for the production of single cell protein from methanol and gas oil in municipal and industrial waste treatment and for plant and animal cell culture. Hopefully, this is clear. Okay, so remember this is the internal lift fermenter and this is the external lift fermenter, and you have what is known as the down corner and you have the riser, and here you have the gas purger. The gas enters. So the two points which you have to remember is the down corner and the riser, and then what you have to remember is that gas enters into it and it is all filled with the liquid. That means your substrate, your products, your microbes, everything is there. So when the air moves, what happens? It moves along with the liquid or it moves along with the nutrients. So it moves, and like this the circulation keeps on occurring. So there is no need of agitator. And in case of this, here, it is the same thing, but only it is an external draft tube. So this is the main difference between the both the airlift. One is the external, one is the internal. So the dispersion of air particles move up from the rhizosome. Okay, so there is uniform distribution of the air. So we shall look into some of the importance. I think so. I have not mentioned the importance in the slide. This type of reactors can be operated at a very low cost since there is no moving parts or agitator. So there is no agitator. So it is less cost effective. Okay, not much costlier. Therefore, the airlift fermenter is also called as a pneumatic reactor, as I told, because they do not have any agitator. So there is no question of mixing. That is, there is no mechanical steering for mixing. The turbulence caused by the fluid flow, okay, ensures adequate mixing of the liquid. So here there is no question of stirring or mixing. Whatever is happening, it is happening between of the sparger air or the gas which enters into the liquid. So a turbulence is being created. Like I spoke about the previous video about also about the turbulence. What is this turbulence? I told you it is a violent or unsteady movement of air or water. Okay, so it will be a violent shake, somewhat like shaking or unsteady movement. As I told you, example in the flight, when suddenly the flight is shaking violently, how you feel, so like that it happens here. So it requires less maintenance and it is also less risky. The air velocity are low and hence the energy consumption is also low, and they can be used for free and immobilized cells. So it is ideally suited for the aerobic culture since the mass transfer coefficients are high. I told you about the mass transfer coefficient, what it is. So mass transfer devices are those that promotes the transfer of the oxygen, because here there is gas, right? So there is a transfer of the oxygen from the gas bubbles to the liquid medium. So wherein the microbes live in your liquid media. And this is, I told, this is a rate limiting step. So how fast, how well your mass transfer occur between the gas and the liquid phase determines the speed of the reaction. So once again, I shall repeat the importance. This type of reactors can be operated at a very low cost because they don't have any agitator. Since they do not have any agitator, they are also called as pneumatic reactor. So there is no question of mixing because there is no mechanical steering for mixing. The turbulence caused by the fluid flow ensures the adequate mixing. That is, the violent movement of this liquid causes the adequate mixing. It requires less maintenance and also it is less risky. The air liquid velocity are low and hence the energy consumption is also low. So they can be used for free and immobilized cells, and it is suitable for aerobic culture. And here you see that for applications, they are used for single cell production from methanol, gas, oil, municipal and industrial waste treatment, and plant and animal cell culture. Just a second. So apart from these two fermenters, okay, the external and internal draft, we have one more two-stage airlift bioreactors. The picture is not provided here. These bioreactors are in the temperature dependent product formation. So wherever the product requires temperature, different temperature, there it is used. It has two bioreactors. In the first bioreactor, the growing cells are present, which are maintained at a temperature of 30 degrees centigrade. These cells are then pumped towards another bioreactor which has a temperature of 42 degrees centigrade. So a problem in this type of bioreactor is see that there is a shuffling between the two temperature. So this can be a problematic. So remember there is another type of airlift fermenter. These are called as a two-stage airlift bioreactors. These are particularly used for products which require different temperatures. So it has two bioreactors. In the first bioreactors, this is first. Okay, one second. So in the first bioreactor, the growing cells are present, which are maintained at a temperature of 30 degrees centigrade. These cells are then pumped towards the another bioreactor which has a temperature of 42 degrees centigrade. So are these two temperatures same? No. But your product requires two different temperature. That is why we are using two different bioreactors. Only drawback of this is the problem in this type of bioreactor is the change in the temperature. Okay. There is change in temperature. That's it. So coming to the next, we have the last one, tower fermenter. The tower fermenter, this is the one second. So this is the tower fermenters. The tower fermenters are used to carry out continuous fermentation. This fermenter was developed actually to overcome the drawbacks faced by the batch fermentation. We shall study about the batch and other fermentation later on, but just remember that this tower reactor was actually developed to overcome the drawbacks faced by the batch fermentation. It is mainly used in the brewing industry for production of beer. A typical tower fermenter consists of a yeast gradient and a gradient of wort. WORT. Remember wort, what is that? I told you the mashing of your barley or whatever substrate you're using. Okay, when you mash it, what happens? You get the liquid, and that is called as a wort. WORT. So, since it is typically used in the brewing industry, a typical tower fermenter will consist of the yeast because it has to convert it in the material into the alcoholic form. And the gradient of growth also is going up the tower. They grow up the tower. The purpose of this multi-stage fermenter is to provide flow of process with the help of gravity. So bulk of raw materials, water and malt, that is your raw material, are elevated to the top of the fermenter first, which then comes down without the need of any pump because of the gravity. Okay, an inlet is present at the bottom. So at the bottom we have a inlet, whereas an outlet is present at the top. So inlet we have, and we have at the top even the outlet. It also carries insulating jackets. Okay, look at this. These are the insulating jacket which are meant to maintain the optimum temperature condition for the organism to grow. So baffles are also present, which are meant for agitation. So these are the baffles which are meant for the agitation. This is about the tower fermenter. So tower fermenters are mainly used for continuous fermentation. Why these tower fermenters were developed was there was a drawback in your batch fermenters. So to overcome that, the tower reactors were designed. So it is mainly used in the brewing industry for production of beer. If I want the production of beer, what I require the substrate. So the substrate may be your malt. I want an organism. That organism can be an yeast. So a typical tower fermenter consists of a yeast gradient and a gradient of wort. Okay, so wort means the substrate, whatever you're using, that substrate, when it is mashed, what liquid you get, that is called as the wort. WORT, wort. The purpose of this multi-stage fermenter is to provide a flow of process with the help of gravity. So here the gravity becomes important. Why? You shall see here. Bulk of raw materials, water and malt are elevated to the top of the fermenters. Okay, so it is elevated to the top of the fermenter first, which then comes down without the need of any pump because of the gravity. An inlet is present at the bottom, whereas an outlet is also present. Inlet is present at the bottom and outlet is present at the uh, top. It also carries an insulating jackets which are meant to maintain the optimum temperature condition for the organisms to grow. You can see baffles are also present, which are meant for agitation. So this is about the tower fermenter. So if you compare this tower fermenter with their airlift reactors, the tower fermenter reactor may be considered as an airlift fermenter with larger dimension. It is almost same. Only the dimension here it is bigger. Okay. So there is a riser zone and even here there is a down cover zone. Since these are having a large dimension and having a higher height, that is a high hydrostatic pressure at the bottom of the fermenter, which will increase the solubility of the oxygen which is being pumped in at the bottom of the fermenter. So what it means to tell is, see here, this is what oxygen inlet. Okay, and here this is the alcohol outlet. That is whatever alcohol is produced, it comes out of here. And you have a settling zone. Settling zone means your yeast, your biomass, it gets settled. So you can remove only your alcohol. The yeast is getting settled here, and we have the oxygen which is being pumped. Okay, so there is a high hydrostatic pressure at the bottom of the fermenter, which will increase the solubility of the oxygen, which is being pumped in at the bottom of the fermenter. So that is why I told that everything will move upward. And easily because of the gravity, they will again come down. That circulation will happen. So if you look at this, what we have put it in the slide, you can see that the tower fermenter, as I told you, it was developed for continuous production of the beer, and it is used for yeast and single cell protein production also. The fermenter consists of a vertical cylindrical vessel with an inlet, okay, at the bottom and an exhaust at the top with an aseptic ratio, the diameter, what they mentioned. So, and there is also the jackets that are provided to control the temperature. Which temperature? The inside temperature. In this process, what happens? the yeast, because we are, for example, take that we are preparing or synthesizing or producing beer. What we require yeast. So in this process, the yeast flocks are maintained in the suspension by the upward movement of the nutrient media. So all the nutrient media will move up because of your high hydrostatic pressure, which are built by your oxygen molecule. They all move upward. Moreover, any entrained particles are returned by means of sedimentation device at the top of the tower. So any other particles, they can just come down or they can get sedimented at the top device. They do not require agitation and hence there are no shaft and there is no impeller blades. At the top of the tower, a separator is provided to induce the gas bubbles produced by the reaction to coalesce and, and escape from the liquid phase. Within the separator, okay, there is a quiescent zone free of rising gas so that the yeast may settle and return to the main body of the tower and clear beer can be removed. Okay, so if it is confusing, no, nothing to worry. What happens is all your microbes, that is your yeast, your malt, everything, your nutrient is present here in the tower, and we are flushing with the oxygen. So a high hydrostatic pressure is built up, and these are the baffles which will cause the turbulency, violent movement. So what happens? All will move upward. Okay, there is a heating and cooling jacket also to maintain the temperature of this media, whatever is inside. And then what happens? We have a settling zone. In this settling zone, all your yeast flocks gets settled so that you can remove only the alcohol out. And what happens? This is fermentation, right? So carbon dioxide is produced, which can be removed from this outlet. So the substrated are added from here and you get your product from here. That is all is about the tower fermenter. So this we come to an end of different fermenters. What we studied is the tower fermenter, airlift fermenter. That is, we studied two types of airlift fermenter. That is the external airlift fermenter and internal airlift fermenter. Apart from that, we saw that two-stage airlift fermenter which is having two different temperature. Okay, and also we studied about the stir tank fermenter also, and we studied the Nathan